Tonight marks the end of an era for TV comedy. After 279 episodes, The Big Bang Theory is coming to an end. The hit CBS show is now the longest-running multi-camera comedy in TV history. It has provided nearly 12 years of laughs with some of television's most endearing and unique characters.
Rock, paper, scissors, scissors, Spock.
Big Bang Theory is about 4 eggheads
Rock, paper, scissors, scissors, Spock.
and the women who love them.
You're a vixen, Amy Farrah Fowler.
Can't get much simpler than that.
Since last time you saw me naked, I got a Cookie Monster tattoo. The acceptable responses when you see it are awesome or nothing.
If Penny can fall in love with one of these guys, then the rest of us can.
Yes, I will marry you.
You will? You will?
I will.
Sheldon, for God's sakes, don't make me beg.
Bazinga.
If you say Big Bang Theory, what comes to mind?
Bazinga.
Bazinga is going to be the first thing people say.
Bazinga. Bazinga.
The secret sauce for The Big Bang Theory is pretty much the secret sauce for any show that lasts a long time, and that's the perfect alchemy of actors.
Then Leonard took me to the barber and the dentist, and then to cap off the perfect day, the Los Angeles Bureau of Weights and Measures.
I think the fact that people want to invite these characters in this cast into their houses and hang out with them
Penny, Penny, Penny.
is just this little piece of magic.
Bazinga is certainly now part of the culture. The Big Bang Theory stars Kaley Cuoco and Johnny Galecki, and they join us at the table. Good morning and congrats to you both.
Oh,
Thank
you.
It was so touching yesterday, guys, at Upfronts, which is a big CBS unveiling to advertisers.
Yes.
When the cast walked out, everybody gave you all a standing ovation. You could tell that everybody up there was surprised and moved.
That was chilling.
We were, yeah.
A standing ovation at Carnegie Hall, and we
Yes.
all were really touched by that, and a little emotional.
very
They
moving.
showed this beautiful video. It was just a lovely tribute.
But I'm wondering how you're feeling. I know everybody knows it's time. I get that. But Chuck Lorre described it as grateful and grief-stricken. Is that a good way to describe how you guys
Yeah,
you
it's
feel
very
too, Johnny?
bittersweet. Yeah, I think I keep the quote from Winnie the Pooh keeps coming up in my mind. How lucky I am to be this sad to say goodbye to something. You know, we all feel very, very grateful, but the timing is right.
Yeah,
Right.
but it is kind of like a death in a way, you know? I mean, it's been a long, long time together, so.
Somebody described it as being like going from kindergarten to 12th grade with people the whole time, which I thought was a good
that
way.
is
Do you
a
agree
really
with
good
that?
That's actually,
Isn't that good?
yes,
I like
actually
it.
we did, at our show, we did a yearbook. So it went from day one to the last day, and it was literally a yearbook. And people on the last day were having their friends sign it, and the crew members, and taking it. Was
Nice.
really kind of a sweet gesture.
I mean, no show has had the ratings like this, too. I mean, you guys have just been a blockbuster success for such a long period. And I love Chuck Lorre describing essentially that when he first brought it to CBS, they said, this
No
is
thanks.
No thanks.
They didn't do it the first
Yeah.
time. The pilot
Well, it didn't
not
have this
work.
one in it initially.
That's why.
But what's the lesson, interesting, because you guys have been involved in a lot of television. What's the lesson, do you think, behind that?
I think it initially, well, Chuck would say that the script wasn't quite there in that first pilot, and then
It's a very different pilot.
very
too.
different pilot. Yes, aesthetically it was very different, but I think most importantly we didn't have Kaley and Simon and Kunal, and when that happened, I mean, there was just a synergy there, and that whatever that elusive chemistry is that you can't really create was there.
And Kaley, have you had people come up, I think of my own kids, and when we watch the show together with them, who have, I mean, their lives, they've gone through those 12 years with you.
Yeah, it makes you feel quite old. Yeah. One kid, someone came up to me the other day, and I think she was like 10. I love the show. I was like, oh, when did you start watching? And she's like, well, it started before I was born. And I was like, glaring at her. I'm like, okay.
So nice to meet you.
It was sweet, though, because the age is so, I mean, we get 80-year-olds and we
It's
get
always been that way.
8-year-olds.
Yeah,
it's
it's
really,
nice.
it's reached so many different people.
But you will be the timeline for certain people's lives. They will all get around and talk about the various seasons of the show.
We grew up on the show. I mean, we have shows that we grew up on that we love.
Yeah.
So that will be for someone else,
Everybody was raving about the finale. I talked to a lot of your colleagues, and Chuck, too. They said they think the finale is perfection, and that it's emotional, and not everything ends with a neat little bow, but everybody gets to shine these last episodes.
I think,
Agree?
finales are so, there's been so many of them that have been so well done, so brilliant from so many wonderful shows. And
so many that have not been well done.
It's hard hard to
That's
do,
true.
too.
That's
There was
true
a
as
lot
well.
of-
There's a lot of pressure
There's
on
a
it.
lot of anxiety for months on how this was going to end, for the writers and for us too. And I'm really trying not to be biased, but it's one of the sweetest finales I think I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how someone could not enjoy this. It's very heartfelt in a time where I feel like we need, I don't know, it's kind. Every character does have a wonderful moment, and it's beautiful.
A few months ago, I was asked to name my top 5 favorite episodes, and it was nearly impossible for me to do. I
Yeah,
couldn't
they all run
figure out-
together, too.
They all kind of melt together over the years. But I can honestly say now that's the last 3 episodes are by far my favorite.
The one with Christine Baranski, who plays your mother, that's already aired, because she's such a caustic person in the episode. The two of you have a very interesting dynamic. And I kept waiting for the joke to come between the two of you when you sort of resolved it. And it didn't, which I thought was unexpected.
Yeah, I did too. But it was one of those. No, in fact, and Christine said the same thing when we first read the script. We thought we read it wrong, or we were missing a page. 'Cause it's not. It was an incredible gift of trust that they gave, she and I, the writers, because that's not necessarily a proven moment in multi-camera live audience sitcom to not end a scene on a joke, to let the drama of the scene ring out. I'm really proud of that episode, and she's just a dream to work with, obviously.
They say this show was approached episode by episode. What does that mean, guys? I didn't know what that meant.
So most shows are weeks ahead, and they're writing. Our show, our writers, they really write for each week, so we're not technically ahead in scripts. They kind of like to see how the storylines go. So a lot of people over the years were like, what's going to happen over the next few episodes? Our writers didn't even know. And they would kind of play it by ear. So we were like a week ahead, barely a week ahead. And it just is how it, of airing. And it's just kind of what worked for our show.
I'm curious about your next chapters, because Johnny's good friend came up to him and said he has the biggest heart, one of the smartest brains, and that he's a really good musician.
He is, and he does.
Oh, Walton got in your ear.
Yeah.
Walton Goggins was
He
talking
paid Walton to say that too.
Yeah, I gave Walton
What's your
Chris
next chapter,
50.
Johnny? What's yours, Kaylee? Do you know?
I've started my production company a year and a half ago, and we've got a lot of stuff in development. I'm enjoying the producing hats, actually. Yeah, a new path for me.
All right.
And,
Johnny?
Well, quickly, Johnny, I'm afraid we have our own next chapter to get to.
Oh, okay. All right. Mine's coming. Don't worry.
Okay.
Oh, good.
I got to tell mine. You didn't get to tell yours.
Ladies
Everybody
first.
stay tuned. Kaylee and Johnny, thank you so much. You can watch the series finale of The Big Bang Theory tonight in 2 back-to-back episodes, starting at 8, 7 Central, right here on CBS.